Hello everybody and welcome to today's video. I'll be bringing you a guide to playing Ana in Overwatch, and I'll also be giving you some tips and tricks to help you improve your Ana gameplay. In my opinion, Ana is the most fun support hero to play, but can be very hard to learn because of the high skill ceiling. If you're not used to aiming a lot, playing Ana can also be stressful because she is so aim dependent, but once you learn how to play her, it is very rewarding. Before we begin, I want to let you know a little bit about myself. I've been playing Overwatch since release, and I main the flex support heroes like Ana, Zen, and Baptiste. Currently I'm in High Masters and hoping to reach Grandmaster very soon. With that out of the way, let's begin. First I'll briefly go over Ana's kit. Ana excels at long range healing and has some of the most powerful abilities and utility out of all the heroes in the game. She does large amounts of healing and can provide healing buffs to allies or an anti-heal to enemies through her biotic grenade. Ana's sleep dart can put an enemy under CC for 5 seconds if they're not being damaged, and is useful for defending herself and her teammates, and is very strong for shutting down enemy ultimates. And finally, Nanoboost provides a max of 250 health to an ally while also providing a 50% damage buff and 50% less damage taken. Nanoboost is very effective for saving low HP teammates, initiating fights, and comboing with friendly ultimates like Genji's Dragon Blade, Soldier 76's Visor, and Echo's Duplicate, just to name a few. So how do you play Ana? As far as positioning goes, it is best to play in places where there is natural cover and where you're a little bit separated from your team. But this is entirely dependent on what your team comp is and what the enemy team is playing. Staying concealed as much as possible is important for survival if you're playing Ana. So as a general tip, play in places where the enemy team will have a hard time dealing damage to you. If you're playing against snipers like Ashe, Widowmaker, or Hanzo, your best bet is to deny all sightlines from them. It is especially important as Ana to stay hidden from enemy snipers, because if you're caught in the open, you will become their priority. Playing against snipers limits your options on where you can position and peek, so be extra careful when playing against these heroes and always use cover. If the enemy is playing dive heroes like Winston, Genji, Tracer, and Doomfist, you probably want to stay a little bit closer to your team so that they'll be able to help you out. If you're caught in an isolated position, it makes it easier for divers to contest you without the help of your teammates, so staying close is the safest option. This brings me to ability usage. There's no straightforward answer to how you should use Ana's abilities. Again, this is entirely dependent on the situation and your team comp and the enemy's team comp. Generally speaking, with Ana's grenade, if the enemy's not running dive or flankers and no one needs a big burst of healing, looking for offensive or anti-nades can help your team secure kills or make the enemies play more passive. If flankers are consistently contesting you, it is best to save the nade for yourself to help you survive the duel. The same guidelines can also be applied to Ana's sleep dart. If you're being contested by flankers or dive, saving your sleep dart for those heroes will help in your survival. A thing to keep in mind when using your sleep dart are enemy ultimates. Things like High Noon, Death Blossom, Dragon Blade, and Bob can be shut down with a sleep. So tracking enemy ultimates and saving your sleep for those is important to survive against such ults. It's better to have the sleep dart and miss rather than having no sleep dart at all. So it's important to be aware of threats like these. Using Nanoboost is situational. Generally, it is best to combo Nanoboost with certain teammates, however it is also effective for saving a critical HP teammate or to help secure a winning teamfight. If you have no DPS to combo Nano with and your team is running either Winston, Reinhardt, or even a high energy Zarya for example, these are all good Nano targets to initiate teamfights with or to keep the tempo of a teamfight. The next topic I want to cover is knowing when to heal and when to deal damage. For so long I've played Ana as a heal bot, and that is what has kept me in Diamond in many previous seasons. Finding opportunities to deal damage is key if you want to be effective with Ana. So as a general rule, if nobody needs immediate healing, find opportunities to deal damage to the enemy. The key is to apply pressure, but if you can get a pick, then great. Your main focus should be healing teammates while at the same time finding opportunities to deal damage. Take this scenario as an example. You have a friendly McCree that's half HP and you see an enemy out in the open to deal damage to. You can do one shot to heal McCree and immediately follow up with a shot to the enemy. Finding opportunities like this will increase your effectiveness when playing Ana. That's all I have as a general guide to playing Ana. Now I'll give you a few tips and tricks to help you become a better Ana player. The first tip I have is to use quickscopes. Why? because quickscoping is the most reliable way to land your shots and you lose no movement speed while doing so. Quickscoping does come at a cost of lower fire rates, however it is much easier and reliable to land a quickscope at medium to long range compared to Ana's projectile when shooting unscoped. You may know ML7 as he is one of the best Ana players in the game right now, so you should check out his video on quickscoping if you want to learn how to do that. I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. The next tip is to be methodical when using your nade and sleep. This tip ties into the ability usage I mentioned earlier, but it's important to really think on how you want to use your abilities. I've seen many Ana players just throwing their sleep dart around every time it's off cooldown just to land a sleep on somebody. It's like the good old Rhine players who press shift every 10 seconds into the enemy. Remember, Ana has very strong abilities, so don't waste them when you're in a team fight, and always think twice before using your nade or sleep. My third tip is to make positional rotations. What do I mean by this? Well, it's pretty much making yourself unpredictable to the enemy in regards to your position. Some enemies will start to notice a pattern on where you play as Ana. If you're playing in the same spot teamfight after teamfight, someone from the enemy team will pick up on this and either try to flank you or tell their team to focus you. If you've been playing on the right side of a map for one or more teamfights, try playing on the left side for a teamfight, then switch positions again. You can make these small rotations during and after a teamfight and while reloading. Just be unpredictable. Alright, and for my last tip, this is about creating off angles. An off angle is pretty much creating a new angle of attack to catch the opponent or enemy off guard. An example, I'll give you a couple examples on this map, King's Row. So for first point, the common angle of attack would be like spamming this choke point here and doing damage and doing whatever, right? A simple off angle that you can do is to just throw a nade or a sleep in the hotel room. It's important to keep in mind that you should keep yourself hidden as much as possible. So only reveal yourself when you're about to throw the nade or the sleep. Another example would be going down here. Let's say your team is playing here around this corner and you want to look for a nade or a sleep. A very simple off angle is to just throw one over here. So let's say like the enemy tanks are playing over here. So you're playing over here for wherever you're playing. You can just make a quick rotation and throw a nade or a sleep or do some damage, and then you can just rotate back. Creating off angles like this will help increase your effectiveness, and also it'll help to contribute more on your part to the team fight. It's really useful to do off angles like that, and you'll find yourself much more effective, because this not only applies to Ana, but you can do it pretty much with any other hero in the game, really. So yeah, take that into consideration next time you're playing. Create more off angles and catch the enemy off guard. That's all I have for you in this guide to playing Ana, and I hope you found this video useful in some way. If you did, please leave a like so that I can make more videos like this. And before I leave this video to an end, there's a few things I want to mention. There are definitely a lot of better Ana players than me out there, but my intention for this video is to help players who want to start playing Ana, or for lower rated players who maybe need a guide. I wanted to make this video short and concise, so I tried to fit in all the information I had in such a small time frame. Anyway, I hope you all have a nice day, and I hope to see you very soon. Peace out.